Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are feeling fire. We are going to be doing a little bit of crafting. Okay, so I don't know why this hasn't been changed yet. Honestly, don't ask me. I've asked for it quite a few times. If you go into the crafting here, you see that there are different rings, and I feel like that people are not really into them. They are not really farming all of these items, and whether, like, on the other side, I do want to make a guide where you can actually get all of these items, because it's actually not that hard. I mean, you just grind the dungeons where they are present, but people seem to not know where things are, so I will be working on that in the near future. But today, I'm going to dedicate this video to all of these rings, what their names are, what their effects are, and we're going to actually test them out as well, which should do or be pretty interesting content. So, I've already created all of them. We're gonna go into the inventory and you can see all of them being in here already. We are going to be starting from left to right, so I'm gonna start off with the Shadow Fang ring, which is supposed to be this one right here. Let's see, this one's actually much better. Oh my god, gilded, 300%. Damn, we're gonna be using that, of course. Whoa, hello there. Let's actually unequip that, and actually bring the shadow ring forward. There we go. Let's check it out. So this one actually gives you 18% melee damage and 15% critter damage. Now, critters are like, I don't know, like in the jungle, right? Spiders and stuff like that. Or what is a critter actually? Could it be a snake? Could it be, what? Wait, I'm gonna Google. What is a critter? Let's see, I'm gonna find out. A living creature, an animal. A person of a particular kind. Okay, so an animal. So, yeah, you could technically use this in the jungle. You could use this against the werewolves, I think. I mean, I don't know if they're actual critters now because they are like shadow werewolves and stuff like that. But I think in jungle you would be Gucci to go. Anyways, 18% melee damage. Gotta be honest, for the amount of work that you put in there, I would technically buff it up to at least 25. It needs to be better than some of the other ones that are around in the game, you know? For example, just the Wanwood ring, which you can get just by easily grinding dungeons, has 2% more. I know you have the critter damage in there, but it kind of feels like that these rings are not versatile, which means like I mean, don't forget, you would have to create another 2 of these Shadow Fang rings to actually like really make it work somewhere. Although, you know, 45% critter damage more doesn't sound bad in my ears because there's a lot of critters in the game. I personally think that they could be, you know, they could entirely, like, to my knowledge, to my thoughts, they could entirely delete the critter damage and just give us 35% melee damage. Because first of all, they're really quite hard to get. They're quite hard to farm. These items that we have, which is this one right here. I take a look at 40 of those, 30 of those, 25 of those. Then you kind of need a little bit of money, which is not an issue because currently making cash or gold is actually pretty easy. By just running quests and dungeons, you get very rich. So, yeah, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's start off with the next one, which is going to be this one. I just got to quickly see what it was called. I think it's the Deathwing ring, and yeah, it is. So, the Deathwing ring, let's talk about that. Where is you? Where is you, my friend? The Deathwing wing. Didn't I do it? Didn't I make it? There it is. So, this one now is a little bit better. It actually gives you 18% ability damage plus 10% boss damage. That is actually much better than the Shadow Fang ring, in my eyes. Because in the end, like, when you're like level 600 to 700, you would probably go out there and try to beat the Egress boss, which is the newest raid that was released a few days ago with the newest update. And I can tell you that the ability damage and boss damage, this ring could technically make abilities worth it. Don't forget that, because another 30% boss damage, if you in a perfect world would have 3, that would be pretty insane. Now, I've just noticed that you can actually fuse rings as well. I didn't know. So let me actually fuse. I want to see if that actually goes up in damage. So right now we have 21% ability damage. Let's fuse those. Oh, wait, right. They're all locked. Okay. Fine. I gotta unlock them all. Okay, they're all unlocked now. Let's go and put this in here. Fuse. And let's do it. I want to see. 21% I think we had, right? Does it get buffed up? Like, that would be pretty good. So we have a shiny ring right here. And what do we have? 31.5. Okay, yeah, that... Oh, okay. That could technically make you extremely strong. Let me quickly check something. I gotta check something, hold on. Alright guys, we're back. I just quickly had to check if you actually in the main game can fuse rings as well, because I didn't want it to spoil a feature, for example, that would be probably implemented soon because I'm on the test realm right now. Okay, so that does make sense. You can, by the way. That is actually quite insane. As you can see, you can probably make really strong rings, and I think rings could be the future of making specifically wobbly builds kind of work. As you can see here, fusing 3 of the same kind, you get 31.5% ability damage, so you could technically do that with these guys here as well, especially if you have a lot of deathwing rings. Trust, you can actually do a lot of damage more with those. Alright, let's get to the next one, shall we? The next ring is gonna be the Conqueror's ring. Let me see what that looks like. That has like this little sword in it. Melee damage, 20%, 10% mastery EXP. Kinda useless, to be honest, because leveling mastery in general is not that hard, not that biggie, you know, not that big of a deal. Having 20% melee damage kinda like gives you the same melee damage you would have with others. There's actually other ones that give you more than that, so I would probably skip out on the Conqueror's ring. As state of now, I would only be going for the Deathwing right now. All of the other ones, they are okay, but nah, I don't know about that. Now, if the critter damage would actually be applied to Igris boss, which I don't think it does, but if it does, then the Shadow Fang ring is worth it as well. If it doesn't, then it's definitely not. Alright, next ring is going to be the Heart-bound ring, and as the name already implies, it will give you health. No, I don't think they're worth it. I don't think this one is worth it because you need those slots for melee. Now, if this had 22% health and had like melee or ability damage, I would be like, yes, then it's worth it. Right now, the Heartbound ring is not worth it in my eyes. Actually, most of these rings are not really worth it. The only 2 that I think are actually quite good is the Shadowfang ring and the Deathwing. Other than those 2, the other ones, they're all skippable as of now. At least just to my professional opinion. You can take it and do with it what you want. Next one is the Guardian's ring, and that is also another miss, sadly. You can see 20% health more, that's pretty okay, but 5% critter damage for the amount of materials you have to gather, not so much. These are all rings that need to be rebalanced. These are all rings that need to be reworked because right now I understand why people are not so hot for these items. The only one that I think is the best out of all of these is the Deathwing ring. Now, if you have a lot of those for some mysterious reason, fuse them all up and have like crazy amount of ability damage, crazy amount of boss damage added to it as well. So, in general, I think the Deathwing ring is worth it. Even also when you're using abilities, the Divine Blade, for example, is really, really powerful, really, really good. It's the best ability in the game, according to me. So yeah, boss damage, ability damage could be up there like to 30% each ring, so you have about a 90%-ish boost when you have 3 of the same rings in there, which is not bad. And then also the Shadowfang ring, as you can see here. Yeah, melee damage, not too bad, you know. Critter damage, okay. Yeah. Is it life-changing? No. The only one that's really worth it here is the Shadow Wing ring. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this small guide about all of the crafting rings that we have in the game currently. I think they need a massive buff. They need to be reworked as soon as possible. Yeah, if any one of the developers sees it, hit me up and we're going to be trying to fix these things. I might actually do a little bit of a write-up because right now most of them are not really worth it because you actually just need simple rings like, let me show you, like these ones, Dark Heart ring. You can just use the Dark Heart ring for the 22 ability damage, or if you go with the One Wood ring, you have 20% melee damage. All of this extra noggin stuff here, that just doesn't make sense. Mastery XP, no, that's useless. 5% critter damage is useless. Yeah, nah. Same even with this one, you don't need health rings because you're so dependent on your damage. I mean, maybe against the Igris boss, the more, HP you have, the better. But, I don't know. If they would be paired with 20% melee or ability, now that would be a different talk. Then they're definitely worth it. But as state of now, no es bueno. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Subscribe to the channel, please. Give it a like. I'm trying to hit 40k very soon. That's my plan. 40k looks much better than 30k, right? Next update, I'll be there. I'll be making a video for you guys. I'll be live streaming it as well. I always live stream the event first. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.